Khan. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakach Kodash. Double honors to the apostle, elders, great millstone, and salute signs to you brothers out there preaching the word, sharing the truth. All right, I got this article real quick from Reuters. It said Fitch cuts U.S. credit rating to AA+. Treasury calls it arbitrary. August 2nd, rating agency Fitch on Tuesday downgraded the U.S. government's top credit rating. And the word credit means belief, all right, faith, okay? A move that drew an angry response from the White House and surprised investors, coming despite the resolution of the debt ceiling crisis 2 months ago. Traders' immediate response was to embark on safe haven push out of stocks into government bonds and the dollar. All right. Government bonds, and bonds short for bondage. And that's what the American dollar is. It's basically bondage, man. You saw push this American dollar, on nations, especially Israelites, and to keep them in bondage, because it's not backed by anything. There's no see what you can do with the dollar bill. You can just print, and it has derivatives attached to it, and what else I can say? This dollar is basically is it's an instrument to control people. All right, and the dollar is supposed to be a measuring tool of gold and silver. But you saw took that attachment away during the 70s. Now you saw you just printing out of like it's going out of style, man. Trillions upon trillions of dollars. And you got derivatives on top of that that adds to quadrillions number of paper, man. All right, but it's gonna come back upon its own head, man. As soon as these other nations start selling their treasuries, that's it. Said Fitch downgraded the United States to AA+ from AAA, citing fiscal deterioration over the next 3 years and repeatedly down the wire debt ceiling negotiations that threaten the government's ability to pay its bills. Fitch had first flagged the possibility of a downgrade in May, then maintained that position in June after the debt ceiling crisis was resolved, saying it intended to finalize the review in the third quarter of this year. Talking about the debt ceiling, there's going to be another debt ceiling debacle in October. With the downgrade, it becomes the second major rating agency after Standard & Poor's to strip the United States of AAA rating. It's all debt. Actually thinking about that. I'm going to come back to this Isaiah 30. And let me grab Habakkuk. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. And the 5th verse. Point is in 6. Yeah, also because he transgresses by wine, and he's a proud man. Basically, a wine is philosophies. The paper fiat system. That's a part of his philosophy. He is a proud man. That's talking about Esau Edom. Neither keepeth at home who enlarges his borders as hell, and as death, it cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take a parable against me? Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And that thick clay goes in the Hebrew word abadyat, which means heavy debt. Weight of pledge is heavy debt. Okay. Heavy debts. And that's what Great Babylon is under, heavy debt. And they're just running on heavy debt, man. Which that American dollar is a debt system, a debt-based system. Let's see. Said Fitch's move came 2 months after Democratic President Joe Biden and Republican-controlled House Representative reached a debt ceiling agreement that lifted the government's $31.4 trillion borrowing limit. Okay. See? This debt. Ending months of political brinkmanships. In Fitch's view, there has been a steady deterioration in standards of governance over the last 20 years, including fiscal and debt matters, notwithstanding the June bipartisan agreement to suspend the debt limit until January 2025. The rating agency said in a statement. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen disagreed with Fitch's downgrade in a statement they called it arbitrary and based on outdated data. You know, day-to-day that you can't pay your bills, and who are you in debt to? You know, you're actually in debt to the elite bankers. Yeah. One example, the panic of 1906 or 1907, I believe. J.P. Morgan bailed out America. All right. So J.P. Morgan is one of the top elite bankers. You know. So you're basically in debt to the banks, to the elite bankers. That's why you got a Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve, man, all they do is print. They just print trillions and keep the stock market up. They keep everything up, man. Once they pull the plug, man, that's gonna be it. The Great Babylon, man. Because eventually this dollar got to go into hyperinflation, man. Because, you know, the Lord got to do something, man. Because, you know, the scriptures talk about, you know, hyperinflation in the book of Ezekiel, I believe the 7th chapter, said they shall cast their silver and gold in the streets. All right. But it's going the American dollar is going to be a hyperinflation mode, man. Amongst other credit-based fiat currencies, all right, like the pound and euro, you know. That's what they got to do to switch over to the MOTB system, man. They first got to get rid of the paper money, paper currency. Then they switch over to the digital CBDCs and eventually the CHIP MOTB system. The White House had a similar view, saying strongly disagrees with the decision. It defies reality to downgrade the United States as a moment when President Biden has delivered the strongest recovery of any major economy in the world, says White House Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre. That bug out. Yeah. This place is a clown world, man. Great Babylon, confusion. All right. But it's another pinprick in the bubble, man. But anyway, let me go back to that Isaiah 30 I had. Close out. Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord. And the rebellious children are Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. And that paper fiat currency American dollar bill got you niggas on. You niggas do anything for that currency, man. You know, you niggas love the dollar bill, but soon there's gonna be a stumbling block. Gonna start to hyperinflate. That take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. And how do you take counsel of the Lord, man? Well, you have his prophets on the highways and byways, you know, teaching, thus saith the Lord, you know, thus saith the word of the Lord, man. All right, that's how you talk to y'all about Shemal Shai through his prophets. That walk to go down into Egypt, which is America. Egypt is the modern day America, man. And have not asked of my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Yeah, that's what they get that credit. That dollar bill, they trust. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you trust in the dollar bill. You trust in Egypt. Trust in America, man. Back at dollar bills are what? Pyramids. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Soon that dollar bill gonna be your stumbling block. And you're gonna be done, man. For his princes were at Zohan, and ambassadors came to Hanes. Zohan is basically a city in Egypt. They were all ashamed of the people that could not profit them, nor be in help, nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. Let's see if I can jump down. Let's see. Yeah, that was all I can grab out of that one. So let me read that again. Verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked of my mouth. When Esau pushed out this C-HIP system, a lot of Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, so-called, they're going to go down and get that C-HIP, man. Okay? And this is before Esau comes down with great wrath. Because the chip's going to be, you know, it's going to be made like, you know, the new technology, you know, it's going to be the it thing. A lot of J going to be deceived by that, man. To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. You know, and ultimately, you Negroes, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans that trust in Egypt is going to be your death, your downfall, man. All right? Eventually, you're going to be put down, man. Okay? So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Shalom.